Hello, I'm Ciarán Lynch and welcome to OviCast, the Teagasc Sheep podcast. Each episode will bring latest insights, advice and technical updates for the sheep industry. We're keeping our ram focus again this week and we're joined by David Coen from Sheep Ireland to tell us a bit more about genotyping rams. David explains some of the information that can be provided everything from scrapie genotypes to parentage verification to genomic evaluations. We discuss the actual process and the costs involved for producers, and David discusses the ram genotype task in the proposed Department of Agriculture Sheep Improvement Scheme, explaining the criteria for both lowland and hill flocks. We finish up on the subject of hill flocks with David explaining how genotyping could lay the foundations for breed improvement programs within hill breeds. We start off, however, with David outlining the benefits of genotyping rams.
Okay, so yes, genotyping has been it's been a fairly common thing in sheep breeding over the last number of years, especially in the pedigree side. So really, what the farmers will get is they'll get major benefits in terms of more information on their rams and on their ewes. You get parentage verification and prediction, so where we'll be able to tell you from the DNA what the exact parents are. You'll also have a department-approved scrapie test done on the sheep. You'll also have genomic evaluation. So what genomic evaluation is where we'll look at the genetic makeup of the animals, and that'll affect his Eurostars. We'll also have a gender determination. So look, that's not really going to be a major one for maybe smaller pedigree flocks, but maybe in larger flocks it comes in handy. We also have their inbreeding coefficient, so we can tell you how inbred a particular ram is, as well as being able to look at kind of any major or lethal genes that might be within a particular breed. So something that may affect animal performance. So that's the major real effects you're going to get from genotyping.
So like for a pedigree breeder, David, there's a lot of important information feeding into that, and again, like it's having an impact on the valuations as well. So it's a really important measure for pedigree breeders to consider. Just on that, like what kind of numbers are we talking in terms of rams being genotyped in the system at the moment?
Yeah, so currently in 2022 there we had 6,000 rams genotyped, or 6,000 sheep, let's say, genotyped on the system. A lot of the active breed societies now have brought in genotyping for their premier sales to ensure that the parentage is correct, especially the sire verification. Look at what we have found is there's been anywhere between 8 and 9% of parents being recorded wrong. Just for look at it, it's really hard to monitor. There's a touch of human error there. In total, over the last number of years, we've up on 70,000 animals genetically tested with Sheep Ireland to date.
You know, there's other projects we spoke about before, OviCast, and I've fed into that. But you figured out with the stock rams. Look, at lambing time, it can easily happen. We've litters hitting the ground, you mix up in parentage. That isn't a very important measure to ensure the stock ram is done. Hugely
important, yeah. Look at it. It allows to ensure you, as Ronsel would say, you see what you're getting on the tin. And look, that's the major factor, and it's huge too for pedigree farmers to ensure that the rams that they're using are doing the job for themselves.
For breeder decides I want to give me ram's genotype, how does he actually go about doing it?
Yeah, so look at the first aspect he'd look at is he'd go onto a Sheep Ireland account. He goes into the program where it's management and genomic ordering. So the genomic ordering screen there gives him a full list of his rams. At the top of the list, it'll give him his stock rams, that these will turn up in orange, and he'll also have his other rams in the list. And it's very much like buying anything online, which we've all been able to come in contact with it now with COVID and everything. It's just to tick the few sheep you want and then go to purchase on from there, and you just need your card details. You'll get your tag then sent out in the post to you from Cormac Tagging. This will take maybe 3 to 5 days. You'll get it in the post. You tag your ram with the green tag. We encourage farmers to leave the green tag in, just to verify that. There'll be a posted envelope there. You'll post it off to the lab to Weatherby's in Kildare, and that'll take anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks to get your results back. Commonly in busier times of the year, we'd be saying 3 to 4 weeks. So look at the results and then come back to us. We have automatic quality control going on there. We've parentage verification when the information comes back, and then we make it available then to the breeders. And any of the breeders can see the results then on the genomic results screen. on their Sheep Ireland account. So as I said, it takes maybe 3 to 4 weeks for the results to go from ordering it to when we get it back to putting it on the screen.
Look, it's probably something they should consider at this stage of the season. Look, breeding is over for a lot of pedigree flocks, so it is, but the ram is still there on the farm. Maybe if there's a no ram being used, it's important probably to get that taken at an early stage.
It is. Look at it. It's hugely important. Like it's especially in rams that haven't been genotyped. Look at any of us that have had sheep. Where you have livestock, you'll have some dead stock, unfortunately. And look, that's the aspects is you want to be getting a hold of these rams in good time and getting them genotyped. Now, again, thankfully, in a lot of breed societies now, they have the rams previously genotyped for you. So look at even from pedigrees or commercial farmers, I would be encouraging them to check that the rams are genotyped. You can do this on the Sheep Ireland Ram Search and ensure that they're done. And if they're not done, I'd be looking to get them done.
So when you want David, you'll not be there when you want them.
Exactly.
I suppose another big element of this is the cost. And genotyping, the minute you mention to a breeder that's interested, cost is a big thing with it. It has traditionally been very high cost. You might just give us a snapshot. What does that stand on the breeder at the moment?
Yeah, so look at the moment, for any breeder that isn't part of our Lamb Plus program. So our Lamb Plus program is our data performance recording program. It's costing that breeder €24.50. But any breeder, what Sheep Ireland are doing for Lamb Plus breeders and for hill breeders is we're putting in a subsidy there of €9.50. So we're giving €9.50 towards it. So the cost of genotyping for a Lamb Plus breeder currently is €15 ram. So look at the price compared to what it would have been a number of years ago is decreasing big time. Also, a lot of breed societies are using their own initiative there, and they're contributing subsidies towards that, which is reducing the cost a lot for pedigree breeders. So thankfully, they're putting that in for it, and it's really encouraging sign.
So definitely, at a stock ram level, cost shouldn't be a prohibitive factor.
No, and again, once the ram is genotyped, once that ram, it'll cover him for his lifetime. So look at if you have him over a number of seasons, it's not an expensive cost. So
just like to move on from that, I suppose one of the changes we see coming down the tracks, and some might be aware of this as an upgrade to the sheep welfare scheme, the sheep improvement scheme. There's a task in it for genotyping rams. David, you might tell us a little bit more about that and the kind of criteria that producers need to be aware of.
Yeah, so look at the main thing we're looking at here is that there's a twofold aspect when it comes to the sheep improvement scheme. There's a lowland ram criteria and a hill ram criteria. Okay, so the main thing we'll be looking at for a lowland ram is the ram himself needs to be genotyped. He then needs to have a genomic evaluation, and where he needs to stand 4 and 5 star Eurostar evaluation after that. He then needs to have a scrapie status between 1, 2, and 3, and that's the main areas the ram producers need to produce. The buyers then will need to buy at least one ram inside the 5 years, and if they've over 150 ewes, they'll need to buy 2 rams in that time.
Okay, so for the hill rams, it's a slightly different criteria.
Yeah, so for hill rams, the hill sector is an area that we've been bridging into big time over the last number of years, and we've been highly involved with a lot of the hill groups around the country. So the main aspects we're looking for them to consider is they need to get the ram genotyped, but he needs to, rather than have a Eurostar evaluation, he needs to be sire verified. So basically, the lamb himself needs to be genotyped, and his sire needs to be genotyped. To make part of the scheme. The scrapie status is also there, so between 1, 2s, and 3s. And again, like that, all hill farmers say if they've less than 150 ewes, need to do this task once. If they've over 150 ewes, they need to do that task twice. So again, what we were talking about earlier, Ciarán, in terms of getting stock rams done, it'd be hugely important for hill ram producers to get their stock rams genotyped ASAP.
That'll allow for the sire verification afterwards.
Exactly.
Look, we're just touching on the hill there, and you mentioned you've been working over the last number of years with different groups around the country. I suppose in the hill context, David, it has been one of the big stumbling blocks trying to get parentage, trying to get flock books set up. Genotyping does present a tool there that we can actually use to identify parentage in them and simplify some of the headaches we get around breeding and recording breeding.
Yes, 100%. Look at it. It is a task. Trying to record parentage has become difficult, and it is difficult on the hill side of things. The main thing we'll find from genotyping these sheep is we can start to build up a genetic profile on your animals. We can look at any inbreeding that's going on the hill sector. It also protects the dilution of breed types. So again, that there isn't rams being sold there that are a mixture of different breeds. It keeps the breed lines clean, and that where it increased that hybrid vigor that's going out to the hill flocks. And look, by doing this scheme over the next number of years, we'll start to build up flock ancestry and a bit of parentage on these rams, which will only help for the development of the breeds over the next number of years.
And David, just for any breeders that maybe haven't been involved in this process before, I'm assuming they can contact yourselves and you'll take them through it.
Yeah, so look at mainly in kind of the hillside or any breeders out there, lowland as well. The main thing to do is contact us. We'll look for a bit of their information, just so we have a creative profile for them. We need the full INSIS tag numbers of the rams, the pedigree, if they have pedigree numbers, the rough age of that ram. So look, I know in a lot of hill cases they may not know exactly the age of the ram, especially older stock rams. So an estimated age for that, the breed of the ram, and again, look at if they did have sire and dam information, it would be a bonus. It won't be a necessity, and then we can genotype the rams from there.
It's a good starting point. David, look, it's an interesting topic. It's something I hope we'll be getting a bit more of an update on over the coming years when more of this information starts to go into it. But it was very good getting an update today from you. Listen, thanks very much for coming on.
No problem at all. Thanks very much.
We're going to leave it there for this week. Again, for more information on Genotyping Rams and other aspects of the Land Plus programme, you can visit the Sheep Ireland website on www.sheep.ie. That's it for me for this episode. Again, for updates on the Teagasc Sheep programme, keep an eye on our Twitter page at Teagasc Sheep. I'm Ciarán Lynch. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe and tune in to future episodes.